Okay.
Are you in the shot?
I am now.
You are? Okay.
Yeah, well, the year is 2021.
We made it.
Armed gangs roam the streets.
Yeah.
And
sort of cyberpunk failed. It doesn't work.
Meat is now being made out of plants.
Soy boys. Being one of them.
Soy boys and simps.
Like boobs now.
Have taken rule of law over this country. Grim times to be alive.
Incredibly so, yeah. Yeah. So you're reading Terry Pratchett?
Yeah, Terry Pratchett.
What's the book about?
Small Gods is the one I'm reading.
Yeah, what's that about?
It's like about a god named Om. Yeah.
Isn't it a... Okay, keep going.
Who has lost all of his powers because nobody believes in him.
Oh, dude, this is fucking, this is like fucking,
Neil Gaiman?
Neil Gaiman's American Gods.
I don't know. I kind of wonder if maybe Neil Gaiman got inspired by it because it came out a long time ago.
Oh, okay. Because isn't it the whole plot is that these gods come down to like get more followers to get more power? That's the whole like.
That's the plot of that book. Yeah.
I never read it.
He has one follower who believes in him. No, a guy named Rutha. Who's like a young novice at a monastery, which is actually a monastery devoted to the religion of Om.
Oh, shit.
But the entire monastery is run by this guy named Vorbis, who's like an inquisitor, who's like a really evil guy who spends all this time like torturing people for their sins.
Oh, so Om's not happy that his only followers.
So they're a bunch. I mean, he has an established religion. But like none of the people on that religion actually believe in him. They all believe in either like fear of death or fear of pain or belief in ritual or something like that, which is why he's lost all his powers. So he has lost them to the extent where he's just a turtle. Like he's just like a turtle wandering.
Terry Pratchett, man, what the fuck is that guy on or was on? Yeah.
So basically, his last bit effort is to try and turn Rutha, who's this kind of like hapless neophyte at a monastery, into like a prophet, so he can like spread his name across the land.
Dude, that's the thing with those fucking guys. They don't have writer's block. They just
definitely not him.
Outsource.
He wrote I think he wrote 2 books a year for like his whole life.
There's some writers that just have a goal and they know what they're writing, like Tolkien. He just knew he wanted to create a world. Just like Herbert.
Yeah.
Herbert wanted to create this world. And it's truly fascinating to see like this world that these people develop. Herbert's world, Frank Herbert, is the best, in my opinion. When you get to God Emperor of Dune, you've hit a new pinnacle of like science fiction literature that's like fucking out there, like crazy out there. It's not like some fucking. It's not Star Trek. It's not Star Wars. It's no Captain's Log. We've reached Omnibus 5, and there's some fucking alien species that's trying to get the saber crystals, the kyber crystals. It's like this fucking dude. I don't want to spoil it. I can't even fucking talk about it. Because I don't want to spoil, dude. God Emperor.
Don't spoil it.
I'm not.
Don't spoil it.
But you should get there. Because it takes science fiction to a realm that like it's almost like you're reading a scientific, like a sci-fi Bible in like the year fucking 3000. No, fucking 50,000. I forgot when Dune takes place.
30.
Yeah, 3,000 is bullshit. No. Like I'm talking like 50,000 years in the future.
50,000 years in the future?
Yeah, fuck. I forgot when Dune fucking takes place. That's kind of a shame.
That's the thing about science fiction, though, is like, so it's like 50,000 years in the future, right? But you still have like humanoids, people who are like human.
We made it.
Would we though? If 50,000 years, you think we're going to be the same kind of people? Like we're still going to be like look like this?
I mean, design-wise, no.
We're going to have like weird, like we're going to look weird.
Yeah, we're going to look like fucking.
We're not going to have like any hair, and we're going to have like giant, like childlike heads. We're all going to look like anime characters in 50,000.
We're going to look like this fucking aliens. Like Joe Rogan always talks about those aliens with no genitals. We're going
to
remove our genitals.
Zeta reticulans.
Yeah, we're going to get rid of our fucking genitals.
Yeah.
We're going to just have like asexual entities that use our DNA, and we're going to create like perfect humans using some sort of like, what is that thing called that the Nazis were so fascinated with?
What, eugenics?
Yeah, eugenics. That's what Jeffrey Epstein was trying to do. You know that?
He was?
Jeffrey Epstein had this fucking weird mansion in, God, I'm just spewing out bullshit information in terms of date. No, like he actually wanted to do this. I don't want to say the wrong location of where he had this house. Anyway, he had a mansion, and his goal was to pump women with his DNA to create a special species of Epstein lineage that he believed would like be perfect.
Wow.
That's why he was so invested in trying to get highly regarded scientists to like on board this like project of yeah.
That is insane. So they have real evidence of him like being like talking to his like cohorts.
This is what I've read. And like, you know, when you say that,
create a race of like super Epsteins.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
He's like an evil villain in his lair. Like,
well, that's what he was. I mean, he fucked kids. You have to be a fucking evil villain if you're gonna.
People
fuck
say
kids.
he fucked kids, but he fucked underage girls.
He fucked kids, dude. He fucked kids.
Fair enough.
He fucked kids.
Okay, but that's different. And I'm not saying that like, oh, that's any better. But I'm saying there's a difference between him fucking like a 5-year-old and him fucking a girl who's like 13. There's a difference because he
didn't fuck babies. He didn't fuck like little children, but he fucked kids.
Right.
We were kids when we were 15. We were stupid.
But was he fucking them so that he could create this new race?
No, he wasn't fucking the kids.
I thought he was just like a libertine.
What's that?
Like a person who's just really rich and will enjoy pleasure at any cost without any regard to morality.
It's like the people who eat like baby blood.
Yeah, or like
like Jeff Bezos just cracks open a baby, just rubs the blood on him.
Have you read 100 Days of Sodom by Marquis de Sade?
Salo, the film.
He was like this French nobleman, right?
Yeah.
French Revolution era, right? Who was arrested and sent to the Bastille for crimes against morality. Because he would go to whorehouses, right? And do things that were just like ridiculously base and vile. To the point where there's a public outcry. They're like, this guy's disgusting, he needs to go to jail.
Yeah.
While he was in jail, he basically took his toilet paper and taped it all together and wrote basically what is considered the most sexually perverse book ever written by
100 Days of Sodom.
100 Days of Sodom. I don't know if you could even find it, but I've read passages of it and it's pretty insane.
What?
Basically,
is it computer appropriate? Is it like YouTube appropriate? No.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
what are some of the?
Well, I won't tell you anything specific, but basically the premise of the book is 4 noblemen, French noblemen, rent out a castle far off from town. They get 10 boys, 10 girls.
When you say boys and girls, you mean younger boys, younger
Yeah,
girls?
like 12 to 13.
Oh.
Right. 2 horses, 2 monkeys.
What?
Yeah.
Bestiality shit?
2 really old men, 2 really old women, and they spend 100 days basically just going wild.
You ever seen the movie Salo?
Yeah.
I've never seen it either. It's I think. You know what? I wonder if that movie's based off of it. Salo, 120 Days of Sodom.
There's like a Fellini movie, I think.
It's not Fellini, but like.
He made a movie about it.
Really?
Yeah.
No, there's a film that's been highly regarded and also highly disgusting and repulsing about these wealthy people that have all these people like as pets, and they're like naked and they like fucking sodomize them. They have them eat their own shit, and they have them eat like food with like nails in them. It's a fucked up movie.
Yeah.
It's on the Criterion.
Yeah, no, it's definitely that kind of stuff.
Okay, maybe there's an interconnection.
Yeah.
Maybe they're connected. Maybe that's a movie based off that book.
Well, anyways, he was taken out of the jail, the Bastille, during the French Revolution and escaped.
Oh.
But he hid the manuscript in the walls, and they found it like years later and preserved it.
What happened with him? Did he die?
I actually don't know what happened to him, but yeah, there's like a big debate, about whether that's like a cultural artifact or a treasure, or if it should just be destroyed.
I mean, it shouldn't be. I mean, if it's not like. It's tough. I don't know. It's definitely not like culturally relevant or important.
There's like a famous feminist, Simone de Beauvoir, who said that it was actually important for feminists to read it.
To know
understand.
how fucking savage some people can be. But it's
Yeah.
not just feminism, it's just, in general, it's important to know how fucking sadistically, like, dark a human individual can get to descend to.
I think that was her argument.
Yeah. And I don't think it should just be, like, monopolized by feminism. I think it's just, like, every fucking person should be aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a woman could fucking do that. Ghislaine Maxwell, I don't know if she fucking... I don't know if she
Who knows?
raped kids,
I mean, probably
but she
not.
fucking was partaking in all that shit. It's not, you know, pedophilia is not monopolized by a single sex. It's,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Well, that's
Yeah.
a dark subject.
That's-
Off to a good start. You want to?
Oh man.
Off to a good start, I see.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Huh. Yeah. What did we do? We got from Dune to pedophilia. That was pretty quick.
Yeah,
It's pretty impressive.
that
Oh!
that'll get you there.
I listened to some Ariel Pink.
Okay, yeah, what did you think?
It's good. Yeah,
What did you
it's
think
good.
about Ariel Pink?
I liked it. He does know 80s. He does know the 80s sound, and he's like incorporated that into like this modern thing, which is really interesting.
For sure.
I haven't listened to all of Pom Pom because I mean we just talked about it last night, but I much prefer that over the Kanye West album you recommended.
Yeah, he just has these moments where it's like you feel like you're hearing like Cyndi Lauper and then like Rod Stewart and then
Yeah.
Van Halen and then Black Sabbath, and it's all just like mixed together, and it's just like such a weird like mishmash.
Totally. I feel a lot of David Bowie when I listen to him.
Yeah, yeah,
Ziggy
yeah.
Stardust.
Yeah,
And he's got that vibe.
very
He's got that
glam.
fucking Ziggy
He
Stardust
gets very
vibe.
glam in certain ones.
Yeah.
The Cure is like, I think, what's it called? Too Much Violence or Not Enough
Oh,
Violence.
The Cure?
Is a song
Oh.
he made that has a break in it that's like very similar to, like, it's just very Cure-like.
Mm.
He talks about it, but yeah, he's a genius. He's a genius. He's a brilliant guy.
Interesting.
It's too bad that he's unhinged.
Aren't all artists usually just like radically unhinged?
I feel like a lot of really good ones are really unhinged. And
I
it's
know.
not good. Well, they have like political opinions that are just like not liberal.
Like Kafka. He was this weird sexually oppressed dude who like went out and fucked a bunch of chicks at the brothels, but he like there was something about him just like sexually perverted in a sense. Remember we were just talking about this. There was something about Kafka.
Yeah, that he had that he went to brothels all the time.
Yeah, and what else? Nietzsche was like sick all the time. Just sick and never did anything. Just like hid in his fucking home all the time. Just never went out.
Nietzsche was like mentally ill.
Yeah.
For sure.
There's something about these individuals who are just so unique. But then there's fucking like people like Einstein who are just perfect.
Yeah, but why does their mental illness have to take the form of like
Brilliance.
supporting Trump?
Oh!
Why can't it be like mental illness in support of like Marxism or something? It's like
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
like I feel like a lot of these artists when they become mentally ill, they become you know what I mean?
No, elaborate.
Like Nietzsche, he was very mentally ill and he was in support of like fascism.
No, that was his sister. He died. He wrote this story about the Supermensch. Okay, about a human individual that's trying to overcome the death of what he called the death of God, which is just the nihilistic reality that we exist in.
Right.
And to overcome that, you become the Supermensch. His sister was a Nazi empathizer, and fucking hijacked that whole thing and used his fucking literature to propagate. To empower the Nazi movement.
So you don't think that if he had been around in the Weimar Republic and he had seen
I don't think he was
the
a
beer
fascist.
hall putsch or whatever and saw Hitler's first stump speeches, he wouldn't have been like, this guy knows what he's talking
No,
about.
I don't know. Yes, I don't know. No,
I
just
feel like
know-
he would have liked Hitler if he had seen
Really?
him. Yeah.
I've never, to be honest,
Yeah.
to be honest, I never actually read.
In fact, Hitler read Nietzsche.
Yeah, because his sister twisted his literature to be pro, Nazism.
Right, but it's not like Hitler could have read like Marx or Engels and been like,
But-
this
yeah.
like supports my,
No, he actually hijacked. He hijacked the Marxist movement to empower workers to get behind his movement. That's why it's called National Socialism. It has nothing actually to do with any of Marxist theory. It's all about empowering workers to join his movement of fascism. To make Germany great again, to give the, not to empower the workers, but to empower Germany. He wasn't, it always bothers me when people, like, oh, Nazism is the National Socialism. He wasn't actually a socialist. He wanted to actually twist the words of socialism, pretty much dig Marx into a fucking ditch and hijack the entire socialist revolution to be some sort of fascist revolution. I mean, we also saw that in England as well, with the whole National Socialist uprising that started from, what's that guy, fucking Mosley, who was part of the Labour Party and then became a National Socialist. They just saw the energy of socialism and wanted to draw that in to their fascist movement.
So you're saying that Nietzsche wasn't.
I don't know.
That philosophy didn't lead directly to totalitarianism.
I would say no. Yeah, I would say no. Hitler was I'm talking on my ass here, but Hitler I don't think was in no way truly inspired by Nietzsche for fascism. I think what he was inspired was, I don't even know. I don't know how. I just bought a book, The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. So I actually hope to read that and maybe get back to you on like my thoughts on what inspired Hitler. I've never even read Mein Kampf. All I know is that Hitler was a nationalist. I mean, he believed that he believed in the the Aryan race and the nation of the Deutschland, and wanted to completely empower them as individuals, or not necessarily even individuals, just the state of the Deutschland, and make them something that he believed would be far greater than anything else in the world, and that nobody else could really be could participate in such a movement, especially me being a Jew. I cannot partake in such a thing.
Be difficult. Although you could, I think you could though.
It'd be tough.
No. But I think in a weird way you definitely could, but in a different direction, in the opposite side actually, because I think fascism isn't about Aryans. It's about one race or group of people being superior to others.
Yeah, in the real concentration.
And that could easily take the form of like Israel is the greatest state.
Oh, but dude, you're doing the whole thing where if I'm a Jew, I have to be connected to Israel.
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying as a Jew, you could.
What? Oh, you like me? Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I could run as a pro-Israeli fascist.
Yes.
We have Bibi already.
Right.
Netanyahu is already doing that for me, so I don't need to.
Well, I think that because here's the argument I have heard about Nietzsche and like Rousseau being these sorts of like philosophies that directly stemmed into fascism, and their notion is that in the state of nature, all things being equal, there are some men who are just great and are powerful.
Yeah.
And those men who are great and powerful can lead the world into a great and beautiful place.
Objectivism.
Only if they're able to.
Yeah, this is like Ayn Rand.
And Ayn Rand is part of this.
Yeah.
Only if they aren't held back by the masses of weaker men.
Yeah, exactly.
Typically what happens in nature is that there's usually fewer really great people than there are mediocre people.
See, I disagree with that. I think to really move society forward, because if you think about it, like as society, like we have greatly innovated together as a society, but we still are held back by greed and our nature. I mean,
the English Benthamites and the utilitarians created their whole system of ethics based on the fact that the greatest good was determined by total amount of pleasure held by the most number of people. Right?
The greatest good was held by the total amount of pleasure.
Right.
Okay.
But for Nietzsche and others, the ethical kernel is the greatest good is, what is the greatest according to those who are the most powerful.
And that the people should follow what's best for those that are in power.
The people should exalt those.
That's objectivism. I don't know if I would call that fascism. Fascism is
fascism is like an extension of that, because basically what fascism is saying is that when a group of people, I think fascism comes from or the root of it is like a bundle of sticks in Italian.
Really?
Yeah, and what it's saying is that a single stick is weak, but a bundle of sticks together is very strong.
That's so weird because you could. I mean, I that's a philosophy about like bundle of sticks. I like that philosophy, but I'm completely against the idea of fascism. To me, I've always attributed fascism as some sort of nationalist force that's in favor for some sort of nationalized / centralized government, almost like a monarchy in some way. Just like some sort of fascist ruler that just has full control over over the entire state, and that the people must and have to obey the supreme ruler's command. Like Darth fucking Sidious is a fascist.
Right. But what gives them their right to govern? Like divine
People.
right?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean,
Like North Korea, man. North Korea's a fascist state, and they think he's a fucking god. They fucking think he was born on some fucking mountain.
well, he wields absolute power,
Brainwash.
backed by example. Like he provides
Alcohol.
examples of it every day. You know, people that resist him or say anything to him like die.
Yeah, but that's not okay. We agree there, right? Like, it's not okay, like, how he goes about it. And it doesn't make him a good or better person. He's a piece of shit. And just because he got daddy's fucking empire and can still wield that, bully pulpit.
Well, I mean, but the thing is, it's about what's more efficient. I think.
What's more efficient is not...
At least that's how I think about it. I think about it like, what makes America exceptional and really good is the fact that we have like a diverse population, right? Diverse group of people. A lot of people who are different at different things. Some people are really like nerdy but really smart and they go into science. Some people are really athletic, they go into sports. Some people are really, good at acting, so they become actors. A lot of other countries, they like enforce everybody to be the same, right?
Simulation.
Right, because they think that's how it should be.
Right.
But since we have so much diversity in America, we have like these people who can do all kinds of different things.
But do we? Like, in many ways, like, you know...
I think the price of that is that we also have a lot of conflict because it's hard for a lot of people who come from different backgrounds to get along.
Huh?
It's hard for people of a lot of different backgrounds to get along, but I think that, that's double-edged sword of democracy.
Oh yeah, I mean, whatever it takes to I think democracy is probably one of the most incredible concepts that humanity is, used to structure their system. I love the idea that, we can get into, is the state right now fully democratic? I don't know. I would probably argue no, but I've also had a little bit too much to drink to really get into that. So
The state, yeah, well, that would be the cynical thing, it's like, doesn't matter who you vote for. 'Cause
Right.
It's the same
same
schlock.
We replace one guy with another old fuck who doesn't give a shit about, the people, but rather his corporate donors. Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Obama.